Good morning, everybody. My name is Karla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about cross-stitch and crochet and machine knitting and all kinds of crafty stuff that I enjoy with a little bit of life thrown in. So today is FlossTube number 299. It is Sunday, September 21st. I want to say welcome. If this is your first time finding my channel, I hope you like what you see. Want to hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if this is not your first time finding my channel, if you are one of my regular viewers, thank you so much for coming back. It's about 10:30 today, and I noticed that my lighting is weird, which just happens. It depends on where the sun is hitting through my window. So looking in the viewfinder, it looks a little hazy. I don't know what it's going to look like when it goes onto your TV or your computer screen, but hopefully it's okay. Bear with me. So the weather here, I was saying last week that it got cooler, and it got cooler, but not cool enough. And then it got kind of muggy. We were like promised rain, and yeah, that didn't really come through. It just got muggy and uncomfortable. And so I'm still not enjoying the weather. I'm really waiting for it to cool down. I say this every year, and you know, I live in Southern California. It doesn't ever cool off that much. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll get some cooler, rainier weather soon. One thing that has, and I don't know if it's a development from the weather or just my luck or whatever, when it was really hot, I opened the window that's by my bed, like a crack. Like this one I have open a crack, and Delilah loves it, loves sticking her face in the fresh air. I mean, there's a screen. And there was one on the other side too, but as soon as I opened it, I started waking up in the morning with bug bites. I don't think that they're mosquitoes because I'll just all of a sudden have one and I'm not seeing any mosquitoes. I think that they might be. I was looking it up, and there's like a bug called the no-see-um. There's some kind of like little teeny tiny fly, actually, like not a mite, but I think they're like a little fly, but they're tiny. They're like a tenth of a grain of rice size. So you don't see them, and they create itchy welts like a mosquito bite would. Now the problem is that I am really kind of like allergic to bug bites, and I tend to swell up a lot more than the average person. So I have been suffering with that all week, to the point where I kind of don't feel well. Right now I probably have somewhere between 10 and 20 bites on my body in different stages of itchiness and development. Some of them are almost gone, but I mean, I don't know if you can still see this one that was like that big, and then there was another one here that was that big, and you can see I scratched them because I try so hard not to, and right now I have one on my foot that's driving me crazy. I have like 4 on this leg and 2 on this leg, and the one that's really driving me crazy, I don't know if you can see, but my whole hand right here is swollen. And I think that white mark that you see is actually a scar from I cut myself at work one time when I was working in the jewelry store. But yeah, there's like, I don't know, 1 or 2 bites, and it's just swelling up my whole hand. It's itchy. It woke me up several times in the middle of the night. I'm trying so hard not to scratch. I have 2 different types of creams. I have like a Benadryl gel, and then I have a cortisone cream, and you know, they work for like 30 seconds and then it starts itching again. And the only thing that really takes the itch away is putting on an ice pack. And so I've been doing that, but you know, it's hard to like do anything and keep ice on different spots on your body. So it's like, you know, just a little like annoyance, but it's affecting my life negatively. I took off my nail strips and I haven't replaced them yet, so I feel like that's not good, because usually I have nice looking nails when I do my videos, but I will fix that later. Yeah, so the bug bites are driving me nuts. The other thing that you may notice if you're an observer of my channel is that we have a new addition here to Delilah's cat tree. So she's sitting right in front of me, but doesn't want to come in and be cute. So the reason that I got that, and it's kind of funny because anyway, so when this half of this big long cat palace. This half of it was baggies. And in my other apartment, in the corner there was a piece that went up that had like this little scratching post, and then there was a perch. And it was all ratty, and it was, you know, and he was too big for it. And of course, when I moved with him, you know, my 20-pound cat. So I just took that off and threw it away. But there was a screw that was sticking up out of the back corner of the thing. And I couldn't get it out, and so I would like put something over it. I had a basket over it for a while, but then I gave that basket away. And so I don't know what I was looking at online, but I got the brilliant idea to look at cat tree accessories, and you can get all kinds of replacements and things to add onto your cat tree. And okay, who knew? So anyway, I found this thing, and I mean, they can range in price from like, you know, $10, $15 all the way up to like a lot, just for even just the accessory things. But I found that one, and it was under 20, and I thought that would be great. I can like screw it onto the screw, and hopefully the screw will go all the way through, and you know. So anyway, I got it yesterday, and I tried to screw it onto the screw that was there, and it screwed on, but then it didn't come through far enough to put the rest of it on, right? So as I was unscrewing that base to try and get it off, I actually unscrewed the whole screw, which was the whole reason that I got the thing in the beginning. So anyway, it's just sitting there, but it's nice and heavy, and it's not, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. It's steady. And the two sunflowers have like big scratching pads in the middle, and the base has like a ball chasing thingy. And so far she seems to be interested by it. She hasn't scratched on it yet, but she's definitely walked around it and played with the balls and, you know, looked at the petals and stuff. So she's still exploring something that's in her space, you know, although she thinks everything's hers. She got up on the top of the high boy dresser that we have our TV on in the living room, and she's been doing that for a while. That's fine. She lays in front of the TV like she's the queen and everybody's looking at her. But 2 days ago, she decided to try and go behind the TV, and then you see a little head coming over the top of the TV, and it's a flat screen, and my roommate and I were both like, oh my God, because we could just see the whole TV coming down. So she got yelled at a little bit for that, and I think she has it in her head not to do that anymore, but who knows? We'll see if we have to keep an eye on her for that. But anyway, so that's what's been going on in my life. I am trying so hard to ignore the itchiness and not scratch myself. So if you see me like rubbing, I'm trying really hard. Okay, so before I show you anything else I worked on this week, spoiler alert, I finished the top. I did kind of want to show you the needlepoint that I finished last week, and I said I was going to block it, and some people asked me about that. So blocking needlepoint, this is actually like a knitting or crocheting blocking board, and you can get, I got a set, it has four or five of these things, and they fit together, right? So you can block a sweater or something like that. And it comes with these T-pins. But when you're blocking a needlepoint, now I thought I didn't need to block it, so I cut it very tight. Normally I probably wouldn't cut it that tight before I blocked it, but I cut it and then realized it was just off enough that it wasn't going to fit nice in the frame. So I decided to try blocking it. So basically what you do is you just put it onto the blocking board and you stretch it enough to, make it square. And you may have to do this a couple times. So I did this last weekend and decided to just leave it on here and show you, although you can see there's still a slight curve here, so I may need to block it again. But then you just wet it, not sopping wet. You just spray it with water and let it dry naturally. And then when you take the pins out, it should stay in the shape that you blocked it to. So as I said, I may need to block this side a little bit more, or again, you can see the T-pins. For knitting and stuff, you can actually get pin bars that it's more than one pin, so you can do a whole section. But that's basically blocking. You don't have to have one of these special boards. Some people have used Like you can especially get them maybe at the thrift store. You know, there's like these foam like floor mats for kids that are like this that fit together. You can use those. My first one that I did, I got a cork board and just pinned into a cork board. So just something that you can pin into and then you wet the piece. So that's blocking. It's the same for needlepoint or, you know, crochet or knitting or anything like that. That's how you block stuff. Okay, so then crochet. Obviously, the big thing is I finished this top. I'm going to stand up so you can kind of see the bottom edge of it, if I can here. So as I said, I've got this sort of blousiness here. This part is the lacier double crochet. You can also see that on the sleeve. So I think it turned out cute. It's not perfect. Again, I feel like I'm learning how to do stuff, and you know, it's not perfect, but it's cute, and it's cute enough to wear, and it's actually, I think, maybe a little tiny bit big. That is one thing that I've noticed with me, because I am a bigger person, I worry about everything being too small, so sometimes I overcompensate and then I end up with stuff that's kind of swimming on me. So that's something to keep in mind for future projects. But I am glad I finished it. I think I would want to make another top-down crochet piece like this, and yeah, I'm happy that I did it. It's fun to have things that I can wear that I made myself. Again, the ones that I've made so far are not perfect, but you know, they're getting progressively better, I think. So, okay, so that is my big crochet finish this week. Oh, I started the needle painting. I tried like I failed. I tried to start it, and I did start it. It is not a quick thing to do, like so much of these crafty type things. I decided to start with this one, and this it comes with the black fabric, and then it comes with this peel and stick pattern, and then after you're done, you soak it, and the pattern and this peel and stick stuff washes away. So 2 evenings, and I did a leaf and half of a flower and a little bit of the cat fur, and that's where I am so far. So this doesn't really come with instructions per se. I mean, it has this thing where it shows you, oh, put this color here and this stitch, but it doesn't make any sense, and I'm basically ignoring that and just going with the picture and using the colors that they have, and then if I decide I want other colors, I'll pull them from my stash, and I'm just kind of doing what I want to do. So as you can see, my blending here is not perfect. This isn't gonna be, it's gonna be, you know, a learning thing. So we'll see if I can make it look anything like the picture. But it is definitely, as I said, not fast to do at all. It's not, like, the stitches themselves are not particularly difficult, but it's kind of hard to, you have to, for me, I'm like trying to visualize in my head, like, where do I want to blend stuff? And so, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, I think this picture is AI generated, so one of the things, and like whenever you watch a video where they're talking about how can you tell AI crochet, it's that, like, you know, the stitches look extremely defined, but then when you go in, they're kind of not, they're fuzzy. And it's the same with this. It's like you can't really figure out, like, what did they do to make it look like that, because it's not real. So it's a challenge, but you know, I'm just basically going on the picture and the colors, and kind of the colors, because I'm going to use my own colors, my own color scheme as well. So anyway, I did work on that a couple nights. I worked on my basket a little bit this week. So it grew a couple inches. I think actually this one, because it's so big, it's probably gonna end up either being a cat bed or it's gonna hold like yarn. So I kind of want it probably to be this tall. So a nice big basket. And then I had another plan in mind. Oops. Hold on, I heard stuff falling everywhere here. I had a plan in mind of something that I wanted to do, but that plan got slightly derailed by my adorable nephew. So Hudson's birthday is coming up in October, the beginning of October. And thinking ahead, a couple weeks ago, I texted his mom and I was like, is there anything that Hudson wants, you know, toy-wise or whatever, for his birthday? And she's like, honestly, he really wants money so that he can get bigger stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess it's gonna be an Amazon gift card for him. But then I was texting with Stacy last week on Thursday. It must have been Thursday. And she's like, oh, by the way, Hudson sent you a voice message on WhatsApp. So I listened to the voice message, and he said that what he really wants for his birthday, if I can do it, is he really wants me to stitch. He doesn't know the words, but you know, stitch or whatever it is that you do to make like a doll of his dog, because he really loves his dog and his dog is one of his favorite things in the world, and so he would really love that. So I'm thinking like, okay, this kid wants me to do a custom crochet piece of an amigurumi animal, which amigurumi is not necessarily my forte, but of an amigurumi animal, and not just a generic animal. He wants it to look like his dog. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of a tall order, and kind of like, I don't know if I have the talent to really do that. I mean, there are people who can, you know, recreate your animals. I'm not one of them. But being game and wanting to please my nephew, you know, Stacey's like, he just wants something that kind of looks like her, you know, don't worry about it. She goes, or just buy this thing on Amazon and, you know, call it a day. And I'm like, no, I want to try. So I went online and I looked and I found a kit that was not very expensive for a generic dog. And I thought, well, I can take this kit and use the basic kit and then figure out how to make it look like his dog. So this is the kit that I got. It has the yarn for these two dogs. His dog, Coco, is a Bichon Poo, but they keep her cut really short because everybody has allergies. So, she would be a curly, longer haired dog, but she ends up looking kind of like a short hair scruffy thing. She's mostly, they say dark brown. She looks black in pictures, but they said dark brown, and I ended up using dark brown because honestly I tried to do black and I couldn't see the stitches, so I was like, this ain't happening. So she's like mostly dark brown, but it's like, you know, the way her face, the coloring on her face and chest and everything is, you know, what he's looking for. So I decided to go ahead and try and make a dog that looks like Hudson's dog, Coco. So this is where I am so far. So as you can see, I'm doing like tapestry crochet so that I can get her stomach to be the cream color. And the cream color that I'm using is actually, this is a Crone, what is that? It's the yarn that I actually made Reagan's scarf out of. So it's slightly fuzzy, which actually I think works really well because it has a fuzziness. And when I'm doing the tapestry, because I'm pulling it underneath the darker yarn has a fuzziness too because it's coming through. So anyway, so this is the face. I think I need to put some of the creamier color a little bit in the eyebrowy area. And maybe in the inside of the ears a little bit. And so I have this much more body to do. And then I have my 4 legs. My 4 legs. And tail to put on. And yeah, I just started adding a color right here because she has some like gray sort of like splotches on her back. And so I have a gray brown that I'm adding. You know, I don't know. I'm trying really hard and hopefully it will satisfy him. So, you know, I'm not an expert at this by any means. I don't know why this side, the tapestry part, looks better than this side, but so that is like a custom request from Hudson that I am trying really hard to make it look semi-cute. Hopefully he'll like it. Hopefully if he doesn't like it, at least he'll appreciate the effort that went into making it. So, I mean, I think it's gonna look cute as a dog in general. Whether it like satisfies the it looks like Coco requirement, that I don't know. That I don't know. Okay, so that I worked on that all day yesterday. So, and I was thinking about it. You know, I ordered the stuff and yeah. So what I was planning on doing yesterday and got derailed by this special request was I found this pattern by Megan Lapp, Crafty Intentions, and she's the one, I don't know if you guys watch me, when I first started crocheting, I made a mermaid, and I have my little dragon that I've never gotten around to putting his wings on, but this is a Megan Lapp pattern, and so her amigurumis are pretty intense, but she created this geode pattern. She has 3 different sizes, and basically they're just like crocheted like cup kind of things, and then you fill them, or well, she crochets in beads. So I thought they were really cool, and I wanted to try them out. I got a couple packages of these glass rondelles, which is what was called for, the wide thing. I looked through the pattern, and you know, of course, the smart person would just follow the pattern, do what it says. I'm thinking like, why can't I sew those on instead of trying to crochet them on? A lot of people, I guess the thing in crochet right now is this whole idea of no sew patterns. Like, people don't want to sew the pieces on, but I don't mind doing that. So yeah, so if it's easier for me to sew the beads into the piece rather than crocheting them, slip stitching them in, I might do that. But it's done in like 2 or 3 layers, and then you put it all together, and they are kind of like, they have a cool ASMR quality. They're crunchy, yeah, and they're just so pretty. I love real geodes, and I thought it would be kind of fun to make some crochet geodes. So we'll see if I can do that. I mean, I have different colored yarns to do the inside. I did get one Super Saver in sort of like this marled gray for the outside, and then I got the beads, and I got that kind, and so these are glass, and then I got these, which are acrylic, and they do have the silver. So I don't know if they're gonna work as well, but they're really pretty because they have like these 2-tone, like this one is like a pink and blue, and then like a blue green, Yeah, so I think that they would work because I don't know that you'd see the silver, but you can also like mix. So I was thinking I could do this like way down deep into it and then have the glass ones on the outside. The glass ones were more expensive. But anyway, so I do have the plan to maybe try those this week. Right now, I don't know what my immediate plans are. Honestly, my most immediate plan is to sit on my bed with some ice on my hand and try and get this itching to go away. Yeah. That is truly driving me crazy. And as I said, I don't think they're mosquito bites because, I mean, I think I would notice a mosquito, like at least even flying. I'm not sitting outside and then I come in with bites. It's like I'm waking up in the morning, so they're in my room. They're not bed bugs or anything like that. I mean, I don't have like a big, rash or a big line of them. It's nothing like that. It's like something is biting the parts of me that are sticking out, my hand, my arms, and my feet, and nothing on my torso. Yeah, knock wood. I haven't gotten anything other than arms and legs. So I don't, it's not something in my bed. It's something that's in the air. But again, I don't necessarily think that they're mosquitoes because I think I would see a mosquito. They're not fleas, definitely not fleas. The animals all have flea medicine and I haven't seen a flea. I think they might be these like no-see-um bugs, but this one actually could be a spider bite. I don't know. They're just driving me crazy. So if you have any surefire remedies to stop the itching aside from knocking me over the head, let me know. Because, yeah, I'm going crazy. And, it's all well and good to say sit there with an ice pack on, but when you have like 6 different little bits on your body that are itchy, I can't. I guess I can just, I just move the ice pack around, but I'm trying so hard not to scratch and I'm just not really good at not scratching. But this hand one is just, it's driving me crazy. It really is. I think that is it for this week. So, hopefully we'll have good weather next week. I don't know. The weatherman isn't being too helpful right now. And I'll get lots of fun crafting stuff done and accomplished. Let me know what you think about my shirt. Be kind. I know it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. But it's done and I did it, and that's kind of a cool thing. And one of these days I'm going to finish something, and put it on my body and go, oh my God, this is really cute. And not like, oh, this is acceptable. Okay, this is okay. I don't mind this. Because that's how it's been lately. It's been like, oh, okay, this is not too bad, I wore my orange, the one that I made on the knitting machine. I wore it to work the other day. So I wore it all day and I felt like not exposed or weird, but it's an okay top. It's not like perfect. So hopefully one of these days I will get to the point where it's like, I'm going to try something on that I made and I'm going to think this is adorable and I'm gonna feel great. Haven't got there yet, but anyway, until I see you guys again, I hope you have a wonderful week. And Miss Delilah is you can tell she likes it because she's snoozing by it. She just hasn't used it to its full extent yet. I don't think she's quite realized what it's the ability to scratch on it and stuff, right, Delilah? Yeah. She's so cute. Anyway, somebody said they were watching my video I think it was last week, and instead of watching me, they were watching her. So I went back and I rewatched, and I was watching her antics, and it was kind of fun. So she's all carrying on a show behind me sometimes. So until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.